GPAs, college and career readiness, fear of failure, social media, peer pressure, bullying. These are just a few examples of the real life issues today's youth are dealing with. So what can you do? What can we do to help? If you stay tuned to learn how my studio guests are helping to create meaningful change for our young people, we can help you to understand how we can help one precious life at a time. Hello and welcome to the Career and College Matters show, where we talk about important topics surrounding today's career and college concerns. Our goal is to inform, to empower, and inspire you, our viewing audience, with information that can help you discover and achieve true academic success. I'm your host, Dr. Mildred Charles, and today I am so honored to have a dear friend and colleague, Linda Diaz. She's here in our studios. And this is a very sensitive topic, but on February 16, 2013, Linda suffered a parent's worst nightmare after losing her 15-year-old daughter, Lauren, to suicide. Lauren was the victim of the cruel act of bullying. But even after that, Linda quickly realized that there were other young people, including her daughter's peers, who were also dealing with life challenges such as bullying, mental illness, and the pressure to succeed. But because of her sincere desire to help our youth, she worked with the Maryland state legislation to help pass 2 laws that support youth behavioral wellness training in Maryland schools. The result, HB 0947 was signed into law in 2015, and HB 0920 was signed into law in 2017. But if helping to pass 2 laws wasn't enough, Linda decided to start a nonprofit organization called Lauren's Law to honor her daughter's legacy, and her goal is to help inspire and hope and provide hope to our young people so that they can win at life. Thank you so much, Linda, for being a guest on our show.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. I mean, as a parent, I know it's not an easy topic to talk about, but can you tell us how, can you tell our viewing audience how that day forever changed your life?
Well, it shattered a part of my heart. And I had to then realize that I had to figure out what I needed to do in life to live without one of the children that I was blessed to have in this world with me. And then I had to figure out how to help my oldest daughter to cope on how to live the rest of her life without her sister.
Wow. And with Lauren being so young when that happened, can you tell our audience what were some of the pressures and challenges, or what may have caused her to take her life?
Well, she was going through a lot of different things that what I thought were typical growing teenage pains. Transition from middle school to high school, so she was a freshman in high school. Lauren, a beautiful soul that she was, I had a goal in my house that her oldest sister kind of helped me to set, which was my children could not get anything below a C in school. And again, you know, both of my daughters were the same yet different. Lauren had her own goal, and a C was not acceptable to her. Only A's were acceptable. So in Lauren's eyes, she set her goals high. She wanted to be successful in anything that she did, and she didn't feel that accepting mediocrity was something that she wanted to live with. So she strived to be the best in everything that she wanted to be. but at the same time, she was struggling with identity. She was going through the pressures of being an honor student in honors classes, and on top of that, just the pressures of not just peer pressure of life, yes, but also pressure from family.
Absolutely. And so that pressure, you working with other young people, you see that same pressure coming up. Can you talk to our parents to help them to understand how real these pressures are?
Yes. What I learned after I lost Loren was that her friends were going through the same things. I started getting phone calls from friends. They needed help on coping and living without Loren, and I was pretty broken as a parent, and I didn't realize how I could, but managed to make sure that I was there to listen to them, to help them to see what they were going through was natural. But what I wasn't expecting to hear was the pressures of school, and when they went into class, that they couldn't function, they couldn't study. They just didn't have the understanding of how to live life with such a, something so traumatic. And Loren's death was very traumatic, but so were divorces that these children were living through, the changes in school that they were going through, a loss in friendship of friends because they were going from one school to another school. So I was learning that there were a lot of different pressures that these children were going through that were strange to me, because I thought that this was something that all parents, spoke of, that had open dialogues with their children to make sure that they could understand that, it's just because today is different from when we grew up doesn't mean that these kids are not going through something stressful.
Absolutely. And so because of your ability to recognize that her peers were going through this, you are the first person I've ever met to actually create a law. So tell our audience real quickly, how did you come about creating a law?
Well, it started basically because I was trying to help the kids that were struggling. Okay. There were kids that were being bullied. There were kids that were dealing with loss. There were kids who were losing parents, that were being deported back to their countries. These were things that were truly traumatizing to these kids. And when I saw that these things were happening, I attempted to go to the teachers, to the parents, to the administrators of the schools. And when I didn't get any help, I decided to go to the Board of Education in the county. And I just wasn't getting very much help. I was getting individuals that would entertain what I wanted to share. And even though I was the voice for these kids, with regards to needing help and somebody standing up for them, I just kept getting doors slammed in my face. So I decided if I wasn't going to get the help from the teachers and the parents and the counselors and the school administrators and the Board of Education, I decided to take it to Annapolis, and I went to legislation.
Wow, that's wonderful. And so that's very impressive. And so your message to young people who might feel that they are in that same situation, what would you say to them before we go to?
That they are not alone. No two children are alike, but that does not mean that what you're going through it alone. There are so many kids that are suffering in silence, and I want them to know that I don't want them to suffer in silence. There are resources, there are phone numbers that they can reach out to. They can reach out to me on Instagram like a lot of other children do, or social media, but there are resources for them to have help. And I want them to know, don't be afraid to ask for help.
That's so so beautiful that you are devoting your life to making a difference. So in our next segment, we will hear from Rebecca, who is a gap year student and a childhood friend of Loren. She's going to share her personal story about, some of the challenges that she deals with. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
Because you said rude things about my work, I started to question my own voice.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of your negative comments online, I've almost quit doing the one thing that makes me happiest in life.
Because you shared something about me that was private, I felt embarrassed.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Because of you sharing your story with me, I feel comfortable sharing my own.
Because you were there when I was coming out, you helped me regain my confidence.
I'm still here today because of you.
Welcome back to the Career and College Matters show, where we talk about important topics surrounding today's career and college concerns. I'm your host, Dr. Mildred Charles, and joining me for this segment is Rebecca Aguilar. Rebecca is a student taking a gap year at Montgomery College. She's a graduate of Eleanor Roosevelt High School. She's majoring in psychology, and she aspires to establish a nonprofit organization that advocates for mental health wellness and awareness for women of color. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for being a guest on the Career and College Matters show.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So as you know from the first segment, I had the chance to talk to Miss Linda Diaz, and she shared her story about Loren. And so I'm curious about your friendship with Loren. Can you tell the audience about?
I met Loren at my little cousin's birthday party with her older sister. Her older sister and my aunt are best friends. So around that time, she was always at any family thing that we had. She came over for Christmas once. She was just always there when I was around my family, so she almost felt like family herself.
Absolutely. And so when you learned about her passing, how did that impact you at your young age?
I was hit with a bunch of emotions, honestly. I didn't know really how to take it. I felt like it was something that I could have done. I could have reached out more. I could have kept checking in on her, and it was just a lot of pain on my end, thinking that it was more that I could do to help her.
And that's natural for somebody your age at that time to start to feel that way. But as her mom mentioned, some of the struggles and just the pressure. So can you relate in any way with that concept of young people under pressure to succeed?
I definitely feel like I could relate. I definitely feel like a lot of young people are always just trying to be better. They're always trying to prove themselves and prove their worth. And parents a lot of the time put a lot of pressure on us to want to be better than them. A lot of our parents have either struggled growing up or are immigrants, and we just want to prove something to this society that we can succeed.
So do you feel that pressure, in a sense, can be overwhelming at times?
Definitely. I definitely feel like the pressure mostly comes from ourselves and our parents wanting just to keep pushing, just to strive to be the best, basically.
And what does the best mean?
Honestly, myself back then in high school, I would say the best would just be school and being successful in school. But me now, I would say being the best for me would just be being the best me I could be, just constantly growing every day.
Okay, that's a good answer. I mean, so if you think about yourself as a high school student and you look back at that time, you know, how would you describe yourself?
High school me was so, I did cheerleading, I did ROTC, like, it wasn't until my sophomore year of high school was when I started, like, I didn't care about anything anymore. It was more of this depression state for the rest of high school for me. I didn't want to cheer. School wasn't where I wanted to be. Like, I just kind of fell apart after. So graduating from high school, it was really, you have to pick up those little pieces of yourself that you still know and hold on to and be able to figure out like your passion and what you want to do after high school.
So did you start feeling those feelings you said in high school?
I think most of high schools, I talk to my little cousin all the time, and he tells me how he doesn't really know what he wants to do after high school. And for us in our family, it's no question, school is where we need to do, like school is what we need to do. We need to have a degree in something, like, and to him, it's just like that's not what he wants. And I feel like for myself, I was more open to, I was able to tell my family more of what I want and able to more speak up of what I wanted. And that way they were more understanding of what I wanted. But that was until after high school where I felt like I actually had a voice.
Interesting. And so how did your family feel when you told them that you wanted to take some time off and pursue a gap year?
My mom honestly was not too happy. Like I said, school is everything for her. For her, she wants her children just to be successful. But when I told her, I decided that I wanted to take a year off to focus on myself, my mental health, my financially, like she honestly, it took some time, but she honestly just supported me and just wanted me to be able to be healthy.
Interesting. And so, you know, if you can talk to other young people your age, you know, who are going through similar situations, what would you tell them?
I would honestly just say to go live day by day. Life is long. Like, do what you love to do. Like, just find yourself, find your passion, and just find happiness in that. Anything that brings you happiness, anything that brings you some type of peace, like, do that. And school doesn't have to be it. It's anything that just makes you happy. Like, anything that continues to make you happy.
And you talk about passion a lot, so it's for you, it is about passion and purpose.
Yes, in high school, what I wanted to do is not what I wanted to do now. In high school, I wanted to be a lawyer, like, I just wanted to have money. Like, now it's like, I actually want to change lives. I want to touch people every day. I want to say, like, I was able to help this person today, even if it's the smallest thing. Like, I want to be able to change lives daily.
You are an amazing young lady.
Thank
you give me hope about, you know, your
Thank
generation.
You so much.
And so you definitely keep doing what you need to do. So in our final segment, we will have Linda and Rebecca both back on to talk about their shared vision about helping young people find coping skills to deal with mental health, including the pressures to succeed. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back.
when you want to talk, I'm here.
Welcome back to the Career and College Matters show, where we talk about important topics surrounding today's career and college concerns. Joining me for this final segment are Linda Diaz and Rebecca Aguilar. And as you've heard from previous segments, we're just talking about youth under pressure to succeed. So in the last segment, Rebecca mentioned, mental health and mental health wellness. So that's a very touchy topic, and it seems like it's the underlying premise of a lot of what young people are dealing with. What are you seeing when it comes to mental health wellness in young people nowadays?
I feel like a lot of young people don't know how to deal with what they're going through or their emotions that they're feeling. A lot of them feel like if they show that emotion that they're weak. And I feel like we as a community should speak up more about depression, speak up more about anxiety, and make it a more normal conversation to have.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. And Linda, your work extends beyond what many of us can relate to. So same question to you. What is it looking like nowadays?
The exact same thing. What it is that a lot of individuals are not truly educated when it comes to mental health. They don't understand that mental health is a disease, just like any disease, heart disease, cancer, diabetes. And sometimes mental illness piggybacks off of other diseases. But depression is something that is very real, and children do not understand what it is. In other words, their brain is broken, and they don't understand how to relate or formulate in words what it is that they are actually going through, because mental illness is silent, it is invisible, and it is not seen. And because it is not seen, therefore it is not taken seriously.
So do you think the extra pressure of what Rebecca was mentioning earlier about this, you've got to go to college or you're just going to be a failure, you don't have any other options, do you think that aggravates, the depression, or is it, the depression already there and it makes it even worse?
Well, each child is different. Sometimes an individual can truly be born with a chemical imbalance that can cause depression. And then sometimes depression can be caused by trauma that these children are going through. And sometimes pressure from family members can lead to be traumatic to a child's brain. And it just becomes so overwhelming to them. And they just kind of stop. They don't know what to do. Some can become very agitated and become violent. A lot of others become withdrawn and they become silent, and they just feel as though that what they're going through is not important because it's not meeting the goals and the pressures that are being put upon them from either the parents or the caretakers that are providing for them. And so it's just, because they don't see that and the kids think they don't have a voice, they just become invisible. They become like their voices. They feel as though they can't voice what they're going through.
This is such a touchy topic to me because when I was a teenager, I tried to take my own life twice. And just to hear, and that was before social media. So I just can't even imagine what young people are going through nowadays with that phone, comparing themselves, and not having anyone to talk to. So I just commend the fact that you guys are just so committed to helping. And so as we get ready to wrap this segment up, what is your message, to parents in particular who may not be able to understand? I mean, they're doing it out of love. We all want our children to succeed. We all want the best for them, especially if you're talking about an immigrant parent or immigrant family. But what is your message to them, to parents, to help them understand that, hey?
What I would like to share with parents is that what they need to remember is that our children did not ask to be brought into this world. We should be able to love them and support them, and we should also be able to listen to them and create an open dialogue with them. Our children should be able to live their best lives, and sometimes their best lives may not meet up with the goals that the parents have in store for the child, but it's that child's happiness that makes them a functioning member of society. So I would just encourage parents to please help their children to live their best lives.
Wow, that is so beautiful. And Rebecca, what would you say to parents? If you could talk to your mom now, which you probably do, but what would you tell your mom and other parents?
Just listen, honestly. Just be open to feel their hurt. Their hurt is not your hurt. It's not the next person's hurt. Like, it's their own hurt. It's their own story. And just don't take their voice away. Be open to hear anything that is bothering them, even if you don't think it's that important. Like, it's still important to them in some way.
Absolutely. And so as you're moving forward, you know, you're planning to go back to school or pursue your goals. And, you know, this show is about career and college matters. And again, we're trying to help, you know, deal with some of these concerns. Why do you think it's important to do what you love and love what you do?
Honestly, because we're on this earth for so long, and we're here, and I don't ever want to feel like I'm just on this earth just to live, like just to breathe. Like, I feel like we should all do something that honestly brings us joy and honestly fills us up like never before. And if you find that in art, then that's what you do for the rest of your life. Even if the income isn't that much, you're just happy with yourself, and that's all that matters.
That's beautiful. And Linda, you need to be commended for taking such a tragic experience and just using it to help other young people and other parents. Why is it important to you to do what you love and love what you do?
I believe that when you do what you love, everything around you is just roses. I mean, you have to really, really walk and do what you love. That's the only thing that you can do. There's no other way to put it.
That's beautiful. And so if people want to contact you, young people who are out there about, you know, some of the pressures, how can they get in contact with you?
Oh, they're more than welcome to contact me. They can either give me a call at 240-715-2200, or they can go to my website and they can contact me through all of my social media, which is Lorenz Law on everything, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Absolutely. And that number you gave is your personal cell phone.
It is my personal cell phone number.
You
so they
are
can
serious
text me.
about this. Yes.
I'm serious.
That's wonderful.
I'm serious. Every life deserves some happiness and some kindness, and that's what I'm about.
You ladies are amazing. I just want to ask you to continue doing this amazing work. Thank you so very much for being guests on the Career and College Matters show. Well, that is our show for today. We want to thank our studio guests, Linda and Rebecca. We also want to thank our amazing, amazing, amazing crew. We have the best crew here at PGCTV, and especially our viewing audience. We hope that you found this information, this touchy topic, to be very useful and valuable. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to do what you love and love what you do. Bye for now.